Yalaman chili. Take your time.
All right, Senator Herrera. Absent. Senator Herrera.
You know what, Vihan? Actually, I'm sorry. If you don't mind sitting, I think that mic might be having issues because they were having problems with that last week too. So even if you just want to sit right there or back up here or wherever, use one of these mics, and I think they'll be able to hear us a lot better.
Senator Herrera. Are they here?
They're in the teams, but if they didn't say anything, then. Oh wait, they're asking, is their microphone working? Make sure y'all, make sure your microphones and your volume's up before we start, so we don't have issues. As we were having issues last week. We cannot hear you, Mateo.
To be clear, that's just for the people like virtual. If you're in the room, make sure your volume is all the way off and your computer's muted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they can hear Mateo. So might be us.
Okay. Can I record them as present?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, Mateo, can you speak again?
What was it?
Perfect. Okay, thank you. You're good.
Yeah, real quick, I'm not sure why, but like now you sound really low to me.
What happened?
Like your volume is super low.
Oh, we sound low. Can you hear me now?
It's still very like low.
Okay, if anything, if it is too low, you can reference the YouTube live. It's the same thing.
Gotcha.
All right. Senator Trainer.
Here.
Senator eBay.
Present.
Chair Keno.
Present.
D-Leg Morissette.
Present.
Chair Temple.
Present.
Chair Bishop.
Present.
Vice Chair Carringle.
Present.
Chair Datlas.
Present.
Senator DeCara.
Present.
Chair Butler. Chair Butler's absent. Is Elise is here on the teams?
Mm-mm. No, she's not on the team. Oh, you see her?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, if you is her video on?
Chair Butler. No.
Okay, then marker present.
All right. Chair Campbell.
Present.
Vice Chair Cantrell. Absent. Senator Castillo. Absent. Senator Laugier. Absent. Senator Fintel.
Present.
Senator Hamid.
Here.
Senator Larson.
Present.
Senator Moore. Right. Absent. Senator Rose.
Present.
Senator Whitson.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Present.
Chair Samilo.
Present.
Senator Hamayan.
Present.
Senator Nadella.
Present.
Senator Patel.
Present.
I am present. Senator Luthra.
Present.
Senator Yusufari. Chair Yusufari. Absent. Vice Chair Acosta.
Present.
Chair Borges.
Mark him present. He's having a technical issue I'm working on.
All right. Chair Carter. Absent. Senator Duke. Absent. Senator Hochfelder. Absent. Speaker Holmes.
Present.
Chair Hurst.
Present.
Senator Kazay.
Present.
Senator Lacasse.
Present.
Senator Patel. Senator Patel. Absent. ILA Pullman. ILA Pullman.
No.
Okay. ELA Richmond. Senator Sandlin.
Present.
Senator Kairos.
Present.
All right. Pro Temp DeMarla.
Here.
Deezer Mittal. Absent.
He's here. He's just having technical difficulties again.
Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. With 35 out of 45 quorum is very.
All right. Thank you. All right. Take a look at last meeting's minutes, and I will take a motion. Sandlin,
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
there's been a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Sorry, Temple. Let me actually split screen this. I'll give you a fair advantage. Oh, shoot. Okay. There's been a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, those minutes stand approved. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wait. Okay, never mind. We just skipped Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem because they are not available. Just letting you know. Approval of the agenda. Please take a look at today's agenda, and I'll take a motion. Chair Temple?
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
There has been a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing none, tonight's agenda stands approved. Open forum. Are there any non-senators wishing to speak during open forum? Seeing none. Announcements from the student body president. President Greenaway.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone has had a great week. Just a few updates from me. This week, Colby and I had a meeting with Dr. Jasal, who is the Senior Vice President for Student Success regarding academic advising, which is one of the biggest concerns that we've heard from students. So that conversation was a really great conversation to have, just to talk about some of the concerns we've had about academic advising, some of the concerns that he's heard about academic advising, so how we can work together and kind of continue that conversation to ensure that, advising is not only more accessible for students, but also students are given the correct information from advisors. So we look forward to kind of continuing that initiative with him. Also, on Friday, I was at the College of Medicine commencement. They actually celebrated their 1,000th graduate. So there's 1,000 plus UCF physicians out there. So that's very exciting. Some updates regarding the database. So a few fiscal chairs reached out to me regarding updates regarding the ANSF database that is coming back for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. So just some updates. So the ANSF business office is currently working on it. Fiscal chairs will have the same access that they have had in the past. And in terms of just being accessible to the student body, it will function similar to how the database was in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. And then, Brenda Posey, Dr. Posey, who's been working on that, has actually been out of the office this week. So I will confirm more details with her once she returns. The CRT current account balance is $68,289.55 with a reversion rate of 0.74%. And the FAO current account balance is $14,592.06 with a reversion rate of 0.78%. I also just wanted to say thank you to Sierra and Reese for allowing us to do our ENA meeting right before this. We really appreciate your guys' support in getting our confirmations. And so thank you so much. And that is all from me.
Are there any questions for President Greenaway? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
First, you can still come up, Colby. I just am gonna mark someone. Duke.
Present and voting.
So noted at 6:29 p.m. Announcements from Student Body Vice President, Vice President Smith.
I hope everyone is having a great week. Let's have a great night. My announcements that I have is I've been setting up this event for our first ASPE meeting. So that's going to be happening June 15th at 2 o'clock. So what ASPE is the Agency and Department for Strategic Plan. So what I will be doing is creating a plan for all the different agencies that ANSF funds, and we're going to figure out a plan. Some of the objectives that we have this year is cross collaboration, marketing strategies so that every different department can market each other's events instead of just us marketing our own, and cross collaboration. So I'll be working with the different directors from those departments to try to cross collaborate and work together. Next one is this week. Me and Brandon attended the first year experience orientation. So we just spoke at that, got to know them. If you get to see them around, the next few weeks they will be here. It's 2 days. So just try to be a welcoming face and smile, say hi to them. And that is pretty much it.
Awesome. Are there any questions for Vice President Smith? Seeing none, thank you. Attorney General's report. Senator Hochfelder.
Present and voting.
So noted at 6:30 p.m. Attorney General's report, none. Wait, sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Cabinet forum, none. Announcements from the interim Chief Justice, Chief Justice Silva.
Hi, Senate. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. Not much for me tonight. However, the judicial branch applications will be opening up tonight at 12 a.m., so technically tomorrow morning. It'll be on Night Connect under the judicial branch, so please spread the word to anyone that you think would be interested. And thank you. I hope you all have a great evening.
Are there any questions for Chief Justice Silva? Seeing none, thank you so much. All right. Sorry. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, none. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the scholarship committee chair, none. Announcements from the Senate president. So here's our faculty Senate seat opportunity. Oh, I'm so sorry, Castillo.
President voting.
So noted at 6:32 p.m. All right. Oh, Carter.
Present and voting.
So noted at 6:32 p.m. Did I say 23? No, I said 32. Okay, making sure. All right. So now I can start my announcement. So as promised, I wanted to have senators sit on faculty Senate committees. There is an opportunity to sit on the commencements, convocations, and recognition committee. This was told to me by President Greenaway. And so the Commencement, Convocations, and Recognitions Committee makes recommendations to the president and the provost and vice president for academic affairs regarding commencements, convocations, awards, honorary degrees, emeritus status, and other forms of recognition. So if you're interested in sitting on this committee, this faculty Senate committee, please send me a message on Teams by tomorrow if you have interest in sitting on this committee. I sent a message earlier this week regarding it. If you didn't see the message and this is your first time hearing about it, please let me know. I'll give you an extension on submitting your materials, but I will be conducting little interviews with that. President Greenaway, if you want to sit on those little interviews, I know you're busy, but if you want the notes from that and things like that so we can evaluate who we want on there, that is totally up to you. But yeah, I look forward. I got 2 or 3 already, so I'm really excited to start looking at that. So if you let me know that you wanted to, I'm pretty sure I sent you a message. If you didn't receive the message, just go ahead and send over your resume and why you're interested in it. Regarding committees, I don't want to have to put my foot down like this. However, we did have issues with our E&A committee yesterday. We did not meet quorum. And I understand that it's summer and we have internships, we just get jobs, we have things that come up. However, if you do not think that you can make a committee meeting time, you need to let me know so that I can remove you from that committee. That is because so that we can make sure that we're meeting quorum. Quorum's important so that we're able to vote. We have executive cabinet positions that need to be filled as soon as possible. If that's not filled, exec can't do their job. Senate can't collaborate with exec. So that's very important. So if you figure out by this time, because I saw there were some absences on the committees. So if you figure out at this moment, shoot, I can't actually make E&A, send me a message in the chat. Don't be ashamed. I'm going to remove you from it just so that we're able to vote and that we can get these lovely people in their seats if they are confirmed. And lastly, shirts have been ordered for the 55th session. I will be sending a picture of what the shirt, not ordered, but an ERF has been sent in. So I will send you a picture of what they look like. I put a little ring of Saturn on the legislative branch logo because Space U. But yeah, that's all from me. Are there any questions for myself? Seeing none. Internal legislative report, none. External legislative report, ELA Richmond.
So I reached out to President Greenway and Vice President Smith about the Senate newsletters, and once the Division of Communications is confirmed in an office, they will promote it on Instagram and other social media platforms. But I did make one for last meeting if you want to look at it. I have it linked. Thank you.
Are there any questions for ELA Richmond? Seeing none. Senate President Pro Tempore report, Pro Tempore DeMarla.
Hello, I hope everyone's doing good. Once again, to reiterate, I'm always an open door. So while I am virtual, you can always just schedule a meeting with me or text me. And then me and Sierra have been having leadership meetings. So I'll be able to report on them in the future, whether it takes like a week or 2 weeks to finish. And then I was also going to talk about quorum and committees, but Sierra already touched on it. Just to reiterate, always communicate with your chair of your committee. If you can't make a time and maybe a better time would suit everyone. So communication is key here. And then the last thing is put your cameras on, please. I want to do Nikila's or DeMarla's drip down. So I can't really do that if I don't see people's outfits.
All right. Are there any questions for Pro Tempore DeMarla? Seeing none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs report, D. Leg Morset.
Hey guys, my only announcement for tonight is that we will be seeing 3 fiscal bills on second reading.
All right. Are there any questions for D. Leg Morset? Seeing none. Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, D. Sermatal, none. Caucus reports, APIA caucus, none. Black caucus, Chair Dadalos.
Hi everyone. We had a really successful meeting on Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys, even though I felt like I was talking to a brick wall, but they did the thing, y'all. Look out for the Juneteenth proclamation and resolution in the coming days. Days being before Wednesday, I promise y'all. I just would love your comments, recommendations, extra information you want to add to it. I really would love to hear it, see it, smell it, breathe it, honestly. Also, congratulations to Elise for being voted my vice chair. That's supposed to say my. I'm so sorry, y'all. And take care of yourselves, please. Sleep, eat, drink water, preferably. Juice is a second option, but drink water, 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 water. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Chair Dadalos as she sips her water? Seeing none. Disability Caucus Chair, Chair Campbell.
Hey, evening everyone. Hope everyone's doing pretty all right. So this week, unfortunately, don't have as much updates as I would like. For Braille signage, Senator Sandlin has been continuing to take point, and we should be meeting with some housing managers and also Dr. Meyer. We might stop in for a Disability Caucus meeting, and hopefully we'll get some more work done on the Braille signage, especially around Lieber dorms. For Disability Commons, it's a bit more up in the air than it was beforehand. There's some stuff that was put to the board last week that just kind of came out of nowhere for some of the student union staff, and now they're trying to figure out just what to do with it. So unfortunately, it's still in flux. So I apologize for not having better news for y'all. Then for SB 266, we talked a little bit about it. Reached out to GAP committee about trying to see how it will affect agencies on campus like SAS, because it is a very vague bill and just trying to know what happens. And then Senator Kazay, Senator Kazay, I apologize. He is taking point on some issues that we've had with accessibility and the graduation barricades that they've been putting up around Knights Plaza. When they're putting it up, it effectively just prevents wheelchairs from being able to actually move around the space or cross the street. And, that's a problem. So we're going to try and start communications with UCF police and SAS to try and figure out solutions going forward.
All righty. Thank you. Are there any questions for Chair Campbell? Seeing none. Latin Hispanic Caucus, none. LGBTQ plus caucus, none. Women's Caucus, Chair Bishop.
Okay, hi y'all. I don't have much today, but we did elect our vice chair, Richmond. So yay, that's super fun. Can't wait to work with her more. Just be safe. Have a great summer. Take breaks. Do your thing.
Okay, all right. Are there any questions for Chair Bishop? Seeing none. Unfinished business, none. Fiscal Committee caucus time, none. Fiscal Committee report, CRT Committee, Chair Cimello.
Hey y'all. So in committee on 522, we saw 6 allocations we approved allocation 55001, 55002, 55004, 55005, 55006, 55007, and we postponed 55003. Bills, we approved fiscal bill 5501. And that's all from me.
All right. Are there any questions for Chair Cimello? Seeing none. FAO Committee, Chair Butler.
Hello, everyone. FAO met Tuesday, and we saw our first allocation. We'll be receiving that allocation next Tuesday, not today, since the RSO couldn't make it. And congratulations to Ariana Carter for being elected as FAO Vice Chair. Can't wait to work with you.
Are there any questions for Chair Butler? Seeing none, thank you. ORS Committee Chair Borges.
Hey guys, we couldn't meet normally again this week because the meeting was not posted publicly on the website 24 hours in advance, which was upsetting, but the issue looks like it's been fixed, which is awesome. So thank you guys for working on that. We looked over Title 8 a bit and determined how we would be dissecting the finance code for future meetings. And we're seeing a lot next week. So if you want to learn and want to become CRT or FAO rep, please join because as of now, no one's interested.
Okay, are there any questions for ORS Committee Chair Borges? Seeing none. All right. Is there a motion to go to internal committee caucus time? Okay. We are now there. ENA, you have 20 minutes. How do I just get ready?
Recess for 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be doing. You can if you need to go over, that's okay. All right. Okay. So I recess for 20 minutes. We'll return at 7:03 p.m.
So ENA members, if you are on the Teams chat currently, just stay up there. We're going to use that link as opposed to a new Zoom one to try and make it easier.
If you're not an ENA and you don't want to watch their meeting, please exit quickly so that Reese can jump in and start her meeting. If you are going to stay, please be quiet so that Reese can do that.
Tyler, are you still here?
There's some.
I'm going to call this caucus meeting to order.
Tyler, go.
At 6:45 p.m.
Reese, do you need me to take notes for this one?
If you could, do you have the
Yeah.
doc?
Yeah, I can. I should. Is it the same one in the chat or is it different?
Yeah, it's in the ENA. It's the caucus agenda. Sent at 6:22 p.m. But I'm not sure how I can see that while we work.
I'm gonna request access. It's the Google Doc, right?
Yes, I think so.
Oh wait, no. I see it. That was a different doc. Okay, so I see this one.
And I don't know if you can.
Oh
Like,
wait.
share.
Sorry. Is this? Okay. Wait.
Honestly, I can type and you can probably like run the meeting. That would probably be the most efficient way to do this.
Yeah, I can't find the agenda. I apologize.
Okay, so would
But if you want, what you can do is you can just say you yield the chair to me when you start, and then I'll just go through it.
All right, I yield the chair to Pro Tem DeMarla.
Roll call and verification. Chair Kanal.
I am present. Cantrell is excused. Senator Samillo? Present. Okay.
Couldn't find the mute here. Hey.
DeCara? Did I say that right? DeCara. Okay, I'm present. Usaferi? Absent. Coleman. I only see 4 people up there, so absent. Chili.
Present.
Borges. Yeah, I think there are more people up there, but I'm only seeing 4 names. Should I mark him present?
He's here. I'm just gonna.
Mark who?
Borges.
Is he in the call?
Oh, he was earlier.
Just say absent. Let me text him.
Okay. Well, Patel resigned. Humayun.
Tyler thought that we were joining the link in the ENA thing, so he's coming back.
Yeah, I think we might have had some confusion. Is he here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just mark him.
Present. Let's delete this. Is Senator Humayun here? LJR rep is here. Pro Tem rep is here. I don't know if Humayun is here.
She's here from what I see. I think she just didn't know we're caucusing.
Okay.
Tyler's back. He
I'll-
jumped in the Zoom on accident.
It's okay.
I'll
with
text.
8 out of 10 quorum is verified.
Take a look at last meeting's minutes, and if you have anything, or want to vote for approval. Amanda.
Motion to approve the last meeting's minutes.
The last meeting's minutes have been approved by general consent. Look at this meeting's minutes, and then approve the agenda. Amanda.
I actually don't have access to the agenda. Like the link isn't working.
Again?
If somebody can just resend it, but it's fine.
The approval of the minutes.
The one for today, right now.
Okay. Let's see. If I can share it.
Amanda.
Oh,
Raising your hand.
I'm sending it to the ENA chat again.
Yeah.
See if that works.
Every time I try to open it, it just says verifying link and then
Just
error.
like open access to everybody because it's not opening access to everyone. Here, hang on, I got you. Should work now. There we go. Okay. Looking at the agenda, motion to approve today's agenda.
There's a motion to, approved by general consent. Open forum, is there anyone that wants to speak at open forum? Is there anyone there?
Not that I see.
None. Announcements from the chair. None because I want to get this over with. Announcements from the vice chair.
We don't have a vice
Or
chair,
actually-
so if y'all
Yeah,
want to be vice
none
chair.
Announcements from committee members. None. Announcements from non-committee members. Is there anyone there?
Nope.
No, none. Old business, none. New business, we have one confirmation. So is it Peter Pham?
It's 2 confirmations, and yes.
Oh, 2 confirmations, because I apologize. We'll go with Peter Pham first then, just because I see him on my list first. So, is there motions for speeches, questioning, and debate?
Yellow and Chili hasn't stand up. Sorry.
Oh, I apologize. Yellow and Chili?
3-minute speeches, 3-minute questioning, 3-minute debate.
There's a motion for 3-minute speeches, 3 minutes questioning, 3-minute debate. Are there any objections? I'd like to hear a longer one, just because I don't think we should ever rush any appointments. Kylie?
5-minute speeches, 10-minute question, 5-minute debate.
If I may,
There's a motion. Do you withdraw? Did someone object?
I object. I don't
Okay,
think we have
do you
time
withdraw,
for
Kylie?
10-minute questioning right now when we're trying to get through tonight.
Okay, Kylie, do you?
7-minute questioning. Questioning has to be the longest, like no debate.
Can we go to
So I would
6?
say- Sure.
So 5, 6,
Okay.
6.
Yeah, 5, 6.
Okay, there's a motion for 5 minutes speeches, 6-minute questioning, and 6-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, if you can time it for me, Reese, Peter, whenever you can, your 5 minutes will start. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm guessing
Okay.
everyone can hear me. Okay, cool. So, hello everyone. My name is Peter Pham. I am a senior at UCF, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering and minoring in general business and psychology. So I was born and raised here in Orlando, literally 45 minutes away from UCF. I remember the downtown campus, the Rosen campus, and Lake Nona campus literally being built, and that being really big news for the UCF university. And so my brother decided to come here first. And so then I followed him because I was 2 years younger. I just followed him to classes. I followed him to different clubs and different sports. And immediately I became in love with the campus, and I knew UCF was the place that I wanted to be. And so then when it came to that time, that's where I decided to go. And so coming here, the first and most important thing to me was finding communities to be a part of. Because that to me is like the whole point of college, is to meet new people, is to get out there. And so then I joined some sports clubs, I joined some engineering groups, and the biggest one that I wanted to join was student government. So I had done it in high school, and I was VP of my high school, but I knew college was definitely a different game, but I still wanted to try it out and see if I would be good at it. And so then I joined the program called SGLC, and that was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, to be honest. And I was able to meet so many people, and then I was luckily able enough to join ELC. And again, fell in love with the program. It was amazing, and then met so many friends and so many people that I know now. And then when it came to the end of the year, I decided to try my hand at cabinet, and I applied for the athletics coordinator position. And then lucky enough, I was able to get the privilege to be it. So through my time as athletics coordinator, I was able to push initiatives. I was able to do pep rallies, tailgate programming, and some student town halls. And from those, I was able to gain skills in budgeting, event planning, networking, scheduling, and organization. And so with the time in the year as well, I had the privilege of touring the other campuses, downtown Rosen and Lake Nona. And so then with my time as athletics coordinator, I was able to take part in some different events such as Rosen's Bloomfest, Downtown Student Life Meeting, and Lake Nona First Year Tabling, and many other events throughout the year. And so from those, it was an amazing time. I was able to meet so many students that I would have never met if I wasn't part of student government. And so I'm super excited to meet more students across these campuses and support them in any way I can. I'm also really excited about SGLC, and so that's kind of where I started my student government career. And so I want to continue that, and I want to just put my own twist on it and kind of do my own thing that I think will be great for the program. And so I'm with my time here in student government, I do believe that I'm ready for a bigger role, and I want to continue serving the students to the best of my ability. And I'm super excited to get started. I yield my time.
Thank you. Now we move on to a period of questioning. Please keep in mind, just ask questions that you really think will definitely make an impact on the way you vote, rather than just filler questions. Amanda and then Kylie.
Hi. So part of your job as comptroller is also going to be with talking to RSOs and making sure that they are aware of things and working with them and making sure that they have understanding of how to get their budget working. How do you plan on talking to them and making sure that you don't get mixed up with people?
Amanda,
I'm so sorry.
Peter's
am I wrong?
applying for. No, you're good. He's applying for deputy chief of staff.
My brain is not
Okay.
working. I apologize for that. I'm going to yield my time.
Kylie.
All right. So, in your position, you also work with the first year experience. So, how will you ensure and improve the qualities of first year experience program for incoming freshmen?
Yeah, so that's one of the first meetings that I plan to do. If I do get confirmed, I plan to meet with first year experience because I do want to be able to speak at orientation because I think that's a great place to advertise SGLC to students. So I'm going to work with them and I'm going to see like what problems they have right now because first year experience, my freshman year, it was COVID, so I had one over Zoom. So I don't have any like personal stories from that in particular, but I have heard some things here and there. So then I will be looking forward to meeting with the first year experience and, kind of supporting them in any way I can.
Vihan.
So if I may recall correctly, Peter, you were in ELC, correct? So as Deputy Chief of Staff, you would be running ELC, and what have you learned in your time in ELC that would impact how you actually run the program now?
Yeah, thank you. So ELC to me was an amazing program because I was able to get really like hands-on with the executive cabinet. And so I kind of want to continue that with leading ELC. I want to create a pretty like close bond. I want to make a big emphasis on like mentors and mentees because in the past there has been some mentors and mentees that haven't communicated at all. And I think that is something that we can really like take advantage of because I was really close with my mentor. So if we can, so one of my initiatives is like doing a mentor-mentee bonding event where we'd have all like different pairings come and they'd learn about each other, they'd meet each other, and they'd kind of compete with the other mentors, mentees in like a friendly competition. But yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of get them started and get them to know each other really well. And then from there, you can kind of, do what you want with that. But yeah.
Kylie.
So in your position, what do you expect to do within the first 30 days of holding office?
So the first 30 days, the first thing I'm going to do is meet with as many people as I can that, my job really entails with. So that's meeting all the representatives from the different campuses. That includes Josh Austin from the downtown campus. With Rosen, I would meet the Rosen Life director. Last year was Tommy. This year, I'm not sure if it's Tommy still, but and then I'd also meet with the Lake Nona student council presidents. And then I'd also set up tours for all of cabinets, meet up with different RSOs across all campuses because I want them to kind of see these RSOs in person. That way they kind of know exactly how they can support them and how they can create ideas on how to collaborate with them as well.
Veniza, Aiden, if you guys are saying president voting, just say so now.
Do you mean Dakara?
What did I say?
You said Aiden. He's already here. He was a president from the beginning.
Oh, he was? Sorry, I just saw him get added back in, so I just thought he wasn't. My bad. I'm so sorry, Aiden. Veniza?
I marked her as present, so.
Tyler?
You're muted.
Yeah, I just realized. Tyler, you can go ahead.
Thank you. How would you describe your working relationship with the currently appointed chief of staff?
So I met Jennifer through SGLC, and so then we met each other there, and then we both got into ELC, and then we were partners for the Black and Gold Challenge. And so from there, we were able to create like a really good relationship where we were able to work together. And then last year, we were both able to be on the same cabinet together. So then that kind of strengthened our relationship as the year went on. And yeah.
Kylie?
All right. So I heard you mention about mentors and mentees. How do you allot SGLC for ELC, the mentors and mentees and take into account their party preferences?
Did you say party preferences?
Like their preferences with like who they want.
Oh yeah, okay. So in the past, what we've done is kind of like a speed dating day where they kind of just have a chance to meet with each member of cabinet for like 2 or 3 minutes. That was able to create some conversation, but you can't know somebody from 2 or 3 minutes. So I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to put a little different twist on it where instead of doing it during ELC time, I want them to come and meet cabinet members throughout, an entire week. That way they can actually know them, and then they'll fill out a Google Doc, like a Google form that says like kind of their ranking of who they want. And then I also get a Google form from the cabinet members, kind of who they want, and kind of match them up as I see based on chemistry.
Reese, how much time do we have left?
2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes? Okay. Are there any other questions?
I have one.
Who spoke?
Aiden, DeCara.
Aiden. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm so sorry. I thought you were raising your hand to say presence in voting. Yeah.
What is something you wish your predecessor did differently, and how would you change that? Like, what would you change?
So, Jennifer, my predecessor, I think she did an amazing job in her position, both in outreach and in SGLC. Probably the one change that I do was the SG on Tour day. So, granted, that was like the first time we've ever done a program like that. But I would want to be a little bit more organized. There was unfortunately like a mob that was created on main campus because there wasn't really any lines that were organized. People just really wanted to merge. So then I'd, have people stay back and kind of organize the line beforehand. I also want to make a big emphasis on like people going through and learning about the different branches of student government before they get like the kind of the prize at the end, which is the merch. Because a lot of people on campus might say like, oh, I don't know what SG offers. I don't know how they support me. Well, this is the program to do that. So, learn first and then you can get your the prize at the end.
That's time.
Okay, now we move on to a period of debate. Please keep these short and sweet. Kylie?
So I just want to say that Peter was my mentor when I was going through SGLC, and he's very sweet, and I don't see why having someone already in it shouldn't be in it again. Obviously, he has a great relationship with the people that are a part of exec right now, so I will be voting in favor.
Tyler and then Vihan?
Yeah, this candidate is more than qualified, answered all of our questions really well, has strong experience, and I think SGLCers are going to be in good hands. As a Rosen Center, I especially like his knowledge of other campuses. And yes, Tommy is still the executive director of Rosen Life.
Vihan?
So yeah, I'm gonna be voting in favor of Peter because one, it's good to have experience in ELC when you're running ELC. Peter also has a great work ethic with all the things he's done as athletics coordinator. I also felt that his idea to make SG on tour better was great, and it was pretty innovative, and that's pretty cool. So yeah.
And then, is there any more debate? Is there a motion to move to voting?
So moved.
Now we're in a period of voting. All in favor, please raise your hand. Only if you're part of the E&A committee, please.
Yeah, how am I don't know where to get a count for that in Teams.
All against?
Can everyone raise their hands again if they're like in favor? Because I can see whose hands are raised.
Oh, I saw it was 6.
Oh, okay.
All against? Amanda's, and then all abstaining. So with a vote count of 6 to 0 to 0, Peter Pham is confirmed for Deputy Chief of Staff. And then is Lucy there?
I'm here, Akila. Her pro temp
Yay! So whenever you're ready, your 5-minute speech period will start.
I'm ready whenever you are. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll start again. Hi, everyone. For those who do know me, but most importantly, for those who don't, my name is Lucy Blanco, and I'm a sophomore majoring in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in pre-law and the humanities. During my time at the University of Central Florida thus far, I've had the ability to begin my enriching academic journey. Though I've just finished my freshman year, I've accomplished a great deal, and I owe this to my institution for allowing me to make this experience my own. Through this, I have grown to understand the importance of advocacy, diligence, and self-efficacy, and these are the pillars I stand on. My community began with my newfound family within student government. Coming from a small town to the largest university in Florida, I wanted to find connection and purpose, reaching the student body in a tangible manner and making a change. This coalition has led me to intertwine my adoration for creativity, writing, leadership, and initiative. My previous responsibilities and experiences with Student Government Leadership Council have greatly inspired and validated my love for this university. I had countless leaders and mentors that have molded my experience for the better, and I choose to be that voice for the next generation. I understand that in this position, I have big shoes to fill, and I'm continuously inspired by the leaders who came before me, and I hope to make them proud. Student government has also allowed me to connect with my peers and grow with them, and constantly raising the bar for what is expected of us and building lasting relationships. In my cabinet position, I understand the importance of my required hard work and admiration. As the academic affairs coordinator, I strive to be the liaison between the student body and the greater university administration, identifying the issues of the students within an academic regard and cultivating the most effective solutions externally while fulfilling administrative initiatives, working with other coordinators, fostering cross-branch collaboration, and serving as a support system to all internally. Expanding events and services with downtown, Rosen, and Lake Nona campuses, strengthening relationships with the John C. Hitt Library, collaborating with their personnel on events and functions while finding new ways to support our students and their academic endeavors. Beyond the lessons I've learned, I'm eager to bring my own ideas to the table. I understand the vitality of not only maintaining an open mind, but an open heart. This means that we, as the leaders of the student body, need to start conversations with a willingness to set aside what we think we already know and seek to understand. I yield my time. I'm ready for questioning.
Now we move to a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Kylie, go ahead.
Hello, Lucy. So, my first question for you is, what do you plan on doing within your first 30 days of being in office?
Thank you for your question. Within the first 30 days, I'm really excited to kind of jump on. I want to speak with our, if appointed, the Director of Student Affairs on how we can start the year off strong with collaborations in an academic regard. I want to meet with the library personnel I talked about, specifically Katie Miller, as she's in charge of engagement and outreach, making sure our students over the summer feel like they're supported as though we feel so separated, and starting the fall off to a great start. One of my initiatives was an orientation integration initiative. And so I'm really eager to meet with first year experience to kind of talk about how student government can be more involved, how we can get our services and our resources out there on a more grandiose scale, as these incoming freshmen are highly impressionable, and I want them to know that we're here to serve them.
Tyler?
So this one is regarding scholarships. Do you believe that they should have the same minimum GPA, or should it vary based on the amount that is awarded?
That's a great question. If I'm appointed in this position, I'd love to explore my opportunity in creating a committee and running for chair, as I see that's historically a responsibility this position has held. If and when that does happen, I want to speak to the appropriate people to talk about what that would look like for this year in regards to how much money we're allocated, as I know it could be different this year. I'm open to that interpretation of figuring out if there should be a range of GPA requirements. I think that seems fitting, as I want to make sure that our scholarships are as accessible and open to opportunity for as many students on this campus.
Aiden?
How do you plan in your position to start working with other branches, specifically with the Senate? Like, as you mentioned in your proposal, you wanted to be in the Latin caucus and the scholarship committee. Like, what else do you have in mind?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for highlighting that. A big thing I want to see, and something that was emphasized a lot in my time with Student Government Leadership Council, is I was able to kind of immerse myself in all the different branches. So yes, I was a part of ELC, and yes, I did apply for a cabinet position, but I'm also well aware of the services and kind of what each branch looks like, and I want to continue that. I know each senator is responsible for keeping an open line of communication with the dean of your college, and I really want to be a part of that conversation, not necessarily stepping in on that position, but maybe that senator and I could have a conversation after the fact. I can meet with the dean and we can come up on ways we can create different solutions to the problems we see. So that's just one way I want to collaborate, but I'd be happy to talk about that if appointed and confirmed.
Amanda?
I yield to Chair Kenna.
So how would you plan on collaborating with departments like the Office of Undergraduate Research so that we can market and advance programs like our Summer Research Academy and Honors in the Major when we're not as busy as we are in like fall and spring?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that we can hone in on our collaboration with our comms team, as they're responsible for most of our promotion and advertising when it comes to highlighting different resources. I'd also love to get in touch with whoever runs like the Instagram for undergraduate research. Maybe we can do some sort of takeover collaboration. I'm really open to having that conversation as well. But I think at the end of the day, it boils down to like having those conversations with the people who are high up in that college and that division, and then we can say, hey, here's my concern with getting outreach and having this accessible to students who may not realize that it's here, especially over the summer when we're much disbanded. So just that communication is really important.
Kylie?
What are your plans to extend resources provided to the student government across the 13 colleges? And what are you going to do to foster the relationship with them during your time if elected as academic affairs?
So I understand that we are a large university, and I see that as a benefit, not a disadvantage. And I understand that there may be gaps in communication. And so for me, as I see my position, I'm that bridge between the university administration and the general body of students. And so I really want to coordinate with our different colleges and what services they want to highlight for the year, and talk to the deans about what their goals are for the year, and how can I best serve them to accomplish that. as an advocate of the student body. And so furthering that, one of my initiatives that I want to complete is my Meet Your Dean event, because I understand that a lot of students, A, don't know who their dean are, B, don't even know how many deans they have, or C, haven't even seen them. And I think that that's a problem, because our deans are essentially like the heart of our colleges. And so I think it all goes back to fostering that relationship with our dean in our college specifically, and then we can work outward.
Tyler?
Sorry, it was kind of answered through one of her answers in the past, so no more question.
20 seconds.
Aiden? I have a quick one if you can. Aiden?
Speaking as a transfer student, I really couldn't find any scholarships that came to I could apply for until I had to look through multiple websites on UCF to find out that there were ones available for me. How, sitting as the academic affair coordinator, do you plan to make these scholarships more accessible to transfer students, first-year students, or just students in general?
How much time do I have to answer this question?
Time ran out when you were saying your question.
We can either have a motion to extend it by like 30 seconds, or we can just move on to debate.
Motion to extend for 30 seconds.
There's a motion to extend it by 30 seconds. Are there any objections? Okay, you have 30 seconds to answer the question, Lucy.
Okay, thank you. I think first it has to come from a perspective that I'm not a transfer student. I'm not a grad student. There's a lot of different communities of students on campus that aren't just the traditional incoming first time in college freshmen. And I acknowledge that. So I think a lot of it's going to have to boil down to me going to, our transfer community and like seeing what that looks like, because as myself, I'm not very familiarized with what that process looked like and what services were brought to your attention. So that's something I'm very passionate about. And like, I keep going back and forth with communication. I want to start that open line. So, but yeah, I'm open to that. And I think that I will be speaking to someone within my first 30 days about transfer students, because I know they just had their orientation.
And then with that, we enter a period of debate. Is there any debate? Kylie?
Hello. So I was blessed to meet Lucy in SJLC, and pretty much the first, maybe the second week, we had this time where people were elected to be chairs of things and all this other stuff. And Lucy was honestly the one person every single time who was there asking questions, like all that stuff. She was very known in the area and everybody just loved her. She is such a bright spirit. She's definitely someone that you can go to. She's open to learning new things. She also has a very close relationship with the other people in the cabinet. Therefore, I feel like she has a lot of resources available to her, even being a sophomore. So I will be voting in favor.
Tyler?
Yeah, I remember interviewing this candidate for SGLC, and I knew she'd do extremely well in SGLC and in SG generally, and she proved everyone right who selected her by doing just that. Every question was answered beautifully, and I think she's going to be an amazing academic affairs coordinator.
Aiden?
It's clearly shown that this candidate is the greatest, honestly, based on the 9-page proposal that was given, where she addressed almost the smallest things to the largest things, is something that I deeply am grateful for, because there's a lot of things that are going to be happening within your position, and you showing that you will go from the smallest little things that some kids, the smallest groups of students are worried about, to the biggest problems. That's very important. And I mean, the resume is good too. So, but the proposal was just the biggest thing to me. But clear enough, yeah, I will be voting in the affirmative.
Is there any more debate? Tyler?
Sorry, no, I left it up.
Oh, Vihan? Oh, never mind. Is there a motion to enter a period of voting?
So moved.
With that, we enter a period of voting. Please raise your hand if you are in favor. Only if you're an ENA. Raise your hand if you are against. And then raise your hand if you're voting to abstain.
I'm abstaining. I've been abstaining though. So
Yeah. With a vote count of 5-0 to 1, Lucy is confirmed as the academics affairs coordinator. And then, is there a motion for final roll call?
So moved.
Same as initial, +1, I think. I adjourned this meeting at 5:22 p.m. Or 7:22, whatever time it is there.
Beautiful, ENA, beautiful. I'll give him 60 seconds. I finished my smoothie. Whatever, Connor. I'm just kidding. It's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna resign him. I know. Love you, Connor. I'm gonna give him one more minute, another 60 seconds. They're a little socializing. God, I just want to ask questions. Seriously, but we'll see. We'll see. Now control. All right. All right. I reconvene this meeting at 7:23 p.m. Is there a motion to go to fiscal legislation? Okay. Notice of legislation on first reading. Fiscal Bill 5502, funding for 22 members of the Team Sport Business Management to travel to the Student Career and Professional Development Learning Experience in New York from September 17th, 2023 to September 22nd, 2023 was postponed in committee. Fiscal Bill 5503, funding for 42 members of the Association of Latino Professionals for America to travel to the ALPFA National Convention in San Antonio, Texas from August 20th, 2023 to August 23rd, 2023, postponed in committee. Notice of legislation on third reading, none. Notice of legislation on second reading. Is there a motion? All right, is there a motion for, Temple?
Move for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
There's been a motion for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, 5 minutes when you're ready, Pro Tempore DeMarla, unless you want to yield to a student.
Is the RSO for this bill here?
No, I'm not seeing. So, did you want to make a motion to postpone?
Yeah, Kylie, did they mention anything about if they're coming or not?
Okay.
I've not been.
They're supposed to be. I made her aware of the meeting. I don't really know why.
Or has?
I can contact them if you want to table it. I'm sure they can be here.
I'll take the motion then. Borges?
Move to table this fiscal bill.
There's been a motion to table fiscal bill 5501. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it is tabled. All right, internal committee reports. Thank you, Borges, by the way. ENA committee, Chair Kanawha.
Good evening, Senate. First, I wanted to apologize to all of you as well as the executive branch and their cabinet nominees for ENA not being able to conduct business Wednesday. I know it was not the most convenient thing for y'all to come out here today so we can get that done, but I do appreciate your time and understanding with that process. And ENA knows that we do play an important part in this, and we are taking it seriously, and we're working with leadership to ensure that this doesn't happen again. And moving forward, we want to make this a positive learning outcome. So it'll buff and we'll stay focused on fulfilling our responsibilities. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Chair Kanawha? Seeing none, GAP Committee Chair Temple.
Alrighty then. Good evening, Senate. So GAP had a very productive first meeting back, and we were able to strategize around the student priority survey, specifically what it would look like, as well as how we would distribute it once it goes live. We will be waiting for the for the communications team to be officially confirmed in order to move ahead from there. In the downtime, though, I've been reaching out to various entities in order to coordinate civic engagement events. I have established a meeting with President Greenaway to discuss his Election Day initiative, and anybody who is willing to work to collaborate on that, by all means, I would be happy to have more people aboard. And I've also reached out to OSI and the SBA chair, and soon the ENA chair, for future civic engagement initiatives. And finally, my on this day fact is the oh so famous miracle of Istanbul. I'm not going to go into the details. Long story short, Liverpool comes back from going down 3-0 against one of the best teams in Italy to win to win the biggest European Cup ever. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Chair Temple? Seeing none, LJR Committee Chair Yalamanchili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and hello, everyone, and good morning to all those who have not received a good morning yet. LJR met today at 3 p.m. We saw 4 absence requests. We approved 3. We postponed 1. We elected Chair Hurst as LJR's rep to ENA, so congratulations to Chair Hurst. And we also discussed ideas, changes, and improvements to LJR's precedent sheet, which should be finalized next week, detailing LJR's policies on the approval of absence requests. And my on this day in history fact, I'm a space nerd, so I particularly like this. On 25th of May, 1961, President John F. Kennedy, one of my favorite presidents, announced his intention to both houses of Congress that he wanted to put a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s, which was awesome because that was how we stuck it to the Soviet Union. Thank you.
All right. Are there any questions for Chair Yalamanchili? Seeing none, thank you. SBA Committee Chair Hurst.
Hi, everybody. I apologize. I don't have any notes in the agenda. I cannot get my computer to try and cooperate, so I'll get those in later.
I'll type it for you.
Oh, thank you so much. We're meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. So if you guys want to come to that meeting, just send me a text or a Teams chat, and I will get you that Zoom link. We're going to just be discussing things we want to try and work on, and then continuing with working on things with Chair Campbell and some people like that. And that's basically it.
Are there any questions for Chair Hurst? Seeing none, thank you. All right, for these confirmations, before we start, I just want to let y'all know we do have an hour and 30 minutes, so please be cognizant of that while you choose the speeches, questioning, and debate time. But yeah, and please take a look at these materials. Please do not ask the same question that was asked in ENA. If you see that a question wasn't answered and you'd like to repeat it, that's acceptable. Just make sure the questions are about qualifications, no personal attacks or attacks on character, things like that. We did pretty well in ENA, so I can trust that y'all will do that again. And then Brody, it would be Kanawha making the motions, correct?
Just the motion to vote. Everything else can be done by anybody. The motion to vote has to be Kanawha.
Got it. All right. I will take a motion for these confirmations for speeches, questioning, and debate. Kanawha.
Motion for 5-minute speeches, 6-minute questioning, 6-minute debate.
There's been a motion for 5-minute speeches, 6-minute questioning, 6-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none. With that, we have a 5-6-6. All right. Please welcome Jennifer Sabrino for Chief of Staff. Oh, she is on Teams? Okay.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you as well, Jennifer. So you can start when you're ready, and I'll put your 5-minute timer up here for you. So I'll start it when you start.
Awesome. Okay. Oh. Okay. So hi everyone. I'm so sorry I couldn't join you in person today, but hopefully I'll be seeing you also soon. So just to introduce myself, my name is Jennifer Sabrino. I'm a senior rising, majoring in event management. I'm a first generation student and I'm also Brazilian. So this is my 3rd year here in student government, and it has been honestly one of the most exciting and blessed experiences I have ever been a part of. I began my journey in student government in the SGLC and ELC program. Last year, I had the amazing opportunity to serve as the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Lopez and Martinez administration, where I worked closely with Vice President Martinez in all endeavors, extended SG in our outreach efforts across all UCF campuses, and through collaboration, created the first ever SG on Tour event, where we were able to meet students where they are and educate them on all SG services at each UCF campus. As well as I was also the coordinator for the SGLC and ELC program, where I taught over 60 students and mentored over 19 about not just student government, but about leadership and where they want to take their college journey. With all that being said, I have dabbled a little bit in everything at this point in student government, and now I have the honor of being the Chief of Staff appointee for the Greenaway and Smith administration. My time as deputy has really set me up for success going into the position of chief. I worked very closely with then Chief of Staff Greenaway and understand the ins and outs of the job, as well as how to lead a cabinet and be a part of a team. The most important values to me are servant leadership, the will to learn, collaboration, and passion. This is what this administration is all about and why I decided to reapply to the executive branch this year. I really want to foster a team that will reflect the values of this administration and bring amazing initiatives and change to our student body. I also want to be a resource to everyone within student government and not just the executive cabinet. As chief, you are a main point of contact for a lot of things student government, or sometimes even the first interaction a student will have with student government. I want to set a great example of what student government is, what we can do for students, and be that first friendly face they see and know that they can come to us with anything. After my time as deputy, doing both outreach and SGLC, a lot of my job was communication and collaboration to be able to learn the ins and outs of all the branches within student government, to be able to speak on each of them respectfully, especially when it came to leading SGLC and spreading the word about SG opportunities through my outreach initiatives. I'm ready to take on the challenge of Chief of Staff, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity, and I'm so excited to answer all of your questions today. I yield my time.
All right, we are now in questioning. Are there any questions, Temple?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening, Ms. Sabrino. It is awesome to hear from you again. So given your experiences and given how close you've worked with former Chief of Staff, now President Greenaway, how do you intend on operating differently from your predecessor? What do you intend on bringing differently to this role, should you be confirmed tonight?
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to bring differently to this role, I would say, is more transparency within the executive branch when it comes to the Division of Administration and then into the other divisions. We have our weekly cabinet meetings, which is the time when we talk about our projects, what we're doing, what we're meeting about within our respective divisions. But I want to bring more transparency amongst the cabinet as a whole is definitely one thing that I want to do different.
Are there any other questions for Jennifer? I will take at least 2 more. Temple?
A follow-up to my prior question?
You may.
So could you please elaborate on what you mean by transparency in this case? It doesn't have to be too detailed.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the executive branch is divided into 3 different divisions. So each of those divisions respectively have their own meetings, have their own things that we discuss. So when it comes to like the Division of Administration, that's where a lot of important decisions are made. And then we then pass that information on to the other 2 divisions when we have our like entire cabinet meeting. So I just wanted to be a little bit more transparent this year about like when we make decisions, why we make certain decisions, meetings that we have, just little things like that.
All right. Are there any other questions for Ms. Sabrino? Seeing none, I'll take a motion. Temple?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. I will, once I see 3 in affirmation, I'll take any in negate, but I won't take more than 3 affirmation. Borges?
I said this in ENA, but I don't think I've ever been more proud to vote in favor of a candidate. This candidate has shown so much knowledge in the position, so much information about the campus, about every position within the executive branch, about so many aspects of student government, and she is truly the chief of staff that I want to see, doing this, because she's proven that she is qualified 100%. So I'm voting in favor.
Thank you. Samilo?
I also spoke during ENA, but Jennifer is honestly such a blessing, and to see her back in office and running for chief of staff is honestly the best thing that could ever happen to us. She is amazing, and obviously I will be voting in favor.
Thank you. Temple?
So I'm going to kind of break the mold here. I didn't speak in ENA because I'm not a committee member, but I will be voting in favor of Ms. Sabrino. I had the honor and pleasure of working with her all the way back in our time in SGLC. Yes, that's quite a while ago. And I've seen her grow into how do I put this? A monster when it comes to exec, because she is fantastic in her position. And it's very difficult to think of anybody else who would become the next chief of staff after being so heavily involved in the one rung below it. So I encourage you all to vote in favor of Ms. Sabrino and bring it on, more or less.
All right. Are there any debate and negation to the candidate? Seeing none, Chair Kanal?
Motion to move to voting.
There's been a motion to move to vote. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 26 to 0 to 1, congratulations, Chief of Staff Sabrino.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, next is Peter Pham for Deputy Chief of Staff.
Peter, just so you know, for whatever reason, the microphone on the podium hasn't been doing a good job of transmitting. So if you want to sit like in one of those seats, that's totally fine.
5 minutes when you're ready, Peter.
Hello. Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. So my name is Peter Pham. I'm a senior at UCF, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering, and I'm minoring in general business and psychology. So I was born and raised here in Orlando, literally 45 minutes away from UCF. I remember the downtown campus, Rosen campus, and Lake Noda campus being built. And I remember that being great strides for UCF. And so my brother came here first because he's 2 years older. And I literally just followed him here at UCF. I followed him to campus, followed him to class, different sports that he played. And eventually I knew that this was the place for me. And so when it came to that time, I decided UCF was my home. So the first thing that I wanted to do coming here to UCF was finding different communities to join, because that is to me the most important part of college, meeting new people and getting some experiences out of it. And so then I joined different sports clubs. I joined some engineering groups like SEDS. And then I knew the most important club that I wanted to join, organization, was student government. So I did it in high school, and I ended up being the VP of my high school, but I knew that college was a totally different landscape, but I still wanted to give a shot at it. So I applied and I got into SGLC, and that was an amazing experience. I met so many people. I met so many had so many friends from it. And so then I got into ELC from there. And then by the end of that year, seeing that I had such an amazing time, I decided to apply for cabinet as the athletics coordinator. And I was blessed enough to be able to get that position. So then as athletics coordinator, I was able to push initiatives like pep rallies, tailgate programming, and student town halls. and I gained skills in budgeting, event planning, networking, scheduling, and organization. And so also as my time as athletics coordinator, I had the privilege of touring all the other campuses and taking part in their events, such as Rosen's Boom Fest, Downtown Student Life Meeting, and Lake Nona's first year training or tabling, and so many other events that the other campuses hold. I'm super excited to meet the other students, continue meeting other students at other campuses and at this campus, and support them in any way I can. I'm also really excited about SGLC, seeing that I started there, and I'm super excited to put my own twist on things and seeing kind of putting my own version. So I'm ready for my bigger role because of my time here in student government, and I want to continue serving the students to the best of my ability, and I can't wait to get started. I yield my time.
All right, we are now in questioning. Are there any questions for Mr. Pham? Temple?
Good evening, Mr. Pham. And it's awesome to hear from you again. It's actually been a while. I don't mean to sound like a parrot or anything, but moving on. Seeing as you will be taking up the position of Deputy Chief of Staff, and as you had said so yourself, you will be tasked with organizing the SGLC program. Given the fact that you have been a former member, what did you think as you were an SGLC member, did you want to translate into this program today, should you take up the position?
So SGLC was an amazing experience. Like I said, I really enjoyed my time there, and I think the predecessor last year, Jennifer, and the predecessor before, Zelly Martinez, I think they did amazing jobs with the program. And so I want to continue doing an amazing job. I just kind of want to put my own twist on things. So I want to continue teaching freshmen, sophomore, and transfer juniors kind of their home on campus, whether it is student government or not. So I'm going to continue being a very diverse education with that program. But also in regards to ELC, I want to put a big emphasis on mentors and mentees, because I was lucky enough to be really close with my mentor and learn so much from her. And so I want to, be able to open up that opportunity to all of them as well.
Sandlin.
In the answer you just gave and in the ENA meeting before, you spoke very highly of the deputy officers that came before you. So I was just wondering, what's an aspect or quality in them that you wish to emulate if granted this position?
Yeah, so thank you. One thing that they both shared that I really admired was their ability to be open. So Zelly was the SGLC coordinator during my time in SGLC. And then obviously with last year, with me being in cabinet, I was able to work closely with Jennifer. One thing that was in common with everybody that talked about them was that they were super open and super comfortable to going up to them and being able to speak with them about anything, any advice, any with the program, even outside of the program, education, they were always open and always willing to speak. And so that's kind of something that I want to continue, being open and being comfortable enough with the SGLC people that they can come up to me at any time. I'm always open. I'm always comfortable enough to talk to, and I'm not going to judge in any way.
Carter.
For your first 30 days, what is something that you would prioritize the most, and why do you think that should be prioritized?
So my first 30 days, I want to meet as many people as possible. That will be with a priority on the other campuses. So I will meet, like I said, in a ENA. I wanted to meet Tommy from Rosen Life, the Rosen Life director. I want to meet with Josh, who's in charge of downtown's kind of externals. And I also want to meet the presidents of the student councils at Lake Nona. I also want to set up tours for all of cabinet to meet all the different RSOs across the campuses, because I want them to get a hands-on and kind of see in person who they're influencing, how they can contribute, and how can they help them and collaborate with them.
Temple.
To kind of bounce off of, I believe that was Vice Chair Carter's question, how more specifically, as you in your role, you'll be working with other coordinators for the broader SGLC program, at least in the fall. How do you see yourself approaching working with individuals with potentially different views on how to operate SGLC?
Yeah, thank you. So the most important thing to me when working in a group is being open to different ideas. So I'm going to be completely open when I talk to them. I want to meet with them in very open arms. I want to discuss different ideas. No idea is a bad idea to me. And so I want them to hear me as well as I hear them. And so then together, it's not just me running the program. We're going to together come up with interview questions, find out who we want as candidates, the kind of personality that we want to choose. And then from there, we can kind of grow together and kind of collaborate throughout the program.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Pham? Seeing none, Temple?
Move to debate.
There's been a motion to go to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate? Borges.
I guess I'll say the same thing I said in E&A because no one wanted to debate. This candidate is well qualified. I think everything's going to work out really well with what they want to do. He's shown a lot of growth, and I think he has a lot of experience, and I love the knowledge about all the different campuses. As a Rosen senator, that's important to me, so I'll be voting in favor.
Temple?
I don't want to make this a pattern, but I'm going to piggyback off of what Chair Borges had said, because I worked with Mr. Pham in ELC, and from him becoming an ELCer to becoming the athletics coordinator to where he is now, it's a significant growth, and I find extensive respect for it. Although I do apologize to you, Mr. Pham, for what happened to Chelsea today. It's not the best, but in any case, I will be supporting you and voting for you in this, both in the fact that you are more than qualified for this position, as well as how do I say this? What's the term? Just a means to make up for the fact that Chelsea lost big time today.
Are there any other individuals wishing to speak in debate? Yalam and Chili?
I'm also probably going to say similar things to what I said in E&A. So Peter's incredibly hardworking. He's innovative. I heard that SG on Tour was a program that was just newly done this past year, and he suggested ideas to improve it, and I thought they were pretty cool ideas. And so he has the right mindset and the work ethic. And running ELC is certainly easier when you were an ELC yourself, so he knows how things can be improved, and that's definitely a positive. So I'll be voting for him, and I encourage you all to do the same. Thank you.
Are there any senators wishing to speak in negation?
A motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Y'all saw my message in the chat. I'm not going to embarrass you in front of these people, so go ahead. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. It's okay. Just put what you're going to vote in the chat. Okay. All right. How many from the poll? Okay. With a vote count of 3402, wait, did it take Temples? Okay, we're going to assume it did, Temple. If anything, we're just going to look back. So with a vote count of 34-0-2, congratulations, Deputy Chief of Staff, Peter Pham. that vote count, let's keep it like that. Okay, let's keep it like that. All right. Madison Moore for Attorney General. All right, Madison, you have 5 minutes when you're ready.
Good evening. My name is Madison Moore. I'm a rising senior and a legal studies major. I am graduating in spring 2024, and I plan on attending law school in fall 2024. The reason why I want to be a lawyer, why I aspire to be a lawyer, is because of the movie Dark Waters. This movie is based on a true story about an environmental lawyer, Robert Billet, who worked for a large American chemical plant. Until one day, he was approached by a farmer from West Virginia. This farmer claimed that over 100 of his cows had mysteriously died. The neighbor to the farmer so happened to be the American chemical Goliath, DuPont Industries. When the cows were autopsied, their insides were green, their organs were expanded, they were full of cysts, and their teeth were black. Keep in mind, during this time in the 90s, chemical companies were self-regulating, meaning the EPA would come in and occasionally give them a slap on the wrist, but these chemical companies could do whatever they wanted. As it turns out, it was the neighbor's fault. The neighbor was knowingly poisoning the farmer's property with PFOA, a chemically engineered chemical by DuPont. But DuPont wasn't just poisoning the farmer's property. They were also poisoning 70,000 residents of that town in West Virginia. DuPont was knowingly leaking it into our water supply, burning it in our air, selling it in our household supplies, selling it in our waterproof attire, and selling it in the infamous Teflon pan all around the entire world. Obviously, this went to suit, but with medical monitoring, this case took 3 decades, 30 years to be settled. In 2017, it was finally settled at a $671 million settlement, which was a slap on the wrist to DuPont Industries. Today, because of what DuPont did, 99% of all living organisms on the planet has PFOA in their bloodstream. That includes every single person in this room. And that is exactly why I want to be a lawyer and why I want to serve as your attorney general. I want every student to know their rights and be protected by their rights. I want our president to stay informed on all of our governing documents. I want to issue impartial opinions. I want accountability in student government. And I want to have the best uniformity in our statutes. You may be asking what makes me qualified for this role. Well, in May 2022, I obtained my real estate license. I did this because sure, both of my parents were real estate agents, but also because I found out that most law students upon graduation don't even know how to do a simple real estate closing transaction. This baffled me. So I got my real estate license and I learned about confidentiality, fiduciary duty, escrow, mortgage rates, titles and liens, and a lot of legal jargon. Last semester, I was a UCF legislative scholar. I interned in the Capitol for Gray Robinson during the 2023 legislative session, and I was in just about every single committee, tracking over 80-something bills. I wrote the 2 weekly reports for Gray Robinson's larger clients. I would write an analysis and summary breakdown of all of the bills I was tracking, and I was welcomed at the negotiation table where Gray Robinson's clients and the legislators would hash out the best language of the bill. Another thing about me is I am a Veterans Affairs student. This comes from my father serving in Desert Storm and becoming a 100% disabled Navy veteran. His service has inspired my own, and once I'm in law school, I plan on applying to the Judge Advocate Group of the Navy and becoming a military lawyer. Another thing about me is I am a transfer student. I transferred to UCF in fall 2022, and I'm so grateful I'm here. Being a Veterans Affairs student, being a transfer student is very important to me. And if you allow me in this role, I will be able to represent these 2 groups who are sometimes overlooked, with transfer students being so big and veteran students being so small. Allowing me into this role will show how inclusive student government is and would allow me to represent these 2 groups. And last thing I will say is I have 3 older siblings, all who graduated from UCF and are proud alumni, 2 with very successful careers, and one of them is going to law school this fall. So allow me to be the last more kid at UCF and serve and leave my legacy as your Attorney General and Judicial Advisor. Thank you. I yield my time.
We are now in line for questioning. Temple.
I'm going to try and limit myself here. 2 questions, if I may.
You may.
All right. So good evening, Ms. Moore. I'm going to hold my second question because that's one of a silly one. But my first question would be more so, how do you see yourself interacting with all of Senate, not just general senators, but also committees as well? More specifically, committees such as ENA, LJR, SBA, and Bill on the Off Chance Gap.
Thank you for that question. I have not been in student government before, so I would like to make relationships with everybody in the Senate impartially. And I would like to work closely with LJR. I would like to attend almost every single meeting I possibly can. And with ENA, I plan on making a election timeline so we can have a smooth, organized transition with elections. Thank you.
All right. And my second question is the dummy question. Are you related to Caitlin Moore by chance, the prior Attorney General?
That is very funny. When I first started my internship as a legislative scholar, so many people asked me that, and I'm like, who is this girl? I am not related to her, no.
You know, okay. May I speak that turn quickly? Actually, scratch that. I'll wait for debate.
What's actually funny is she did a story in her, like something that inspired her for that position as well. So I think it's really weird, but it was good. It was good. Y'all in Chile.
So thank you, Madison, for being here. And I would like to ask you a question about the power of the Attorney General's opinions, which to my knowledge are binding on student government. Do you believe that these opinions can have some sort of appeal process if various student government agencies happen to disagree with them? But what I mean by that is, do you think that it is conducive to potentially have a process whereby opinions can be appealed to the Judicial Council or be overridden by the Senate?
Thank you for that question. I will try to answer it to my best of my ability. With the Attorney General's role with issuing opinions, the only time Attorney General can override the legislative branch is by procedural error. All of my opinions, I do not have any effect on the legislative branch. They will be impartial and they will be to the statutes. So I do hope you acknowledge my opinions and really take them as advice, as they will be impartial and they will be completely to the statutes. As to what you were saying, maybe some further legislation to do that if everyone would be open to it. But as of for right now, with the Attorney General's roles and powers in that, it is only with procedural errors that it can override the legislative branch.
All right, Borges.
So my first question that I have for you is, obviously you have a lot of very impressive qualities and great resume, but a lot of them that you just explained seem to align more with the GAC position. What qualifies you for Attorney General?
Thank you for that question. Well, my parents, I'll get a little personal. My parents were in a lawsuit for a very long time in my life, and I would help out with that, as well as I'm a legal studies major. My sister also wants to go to law school. So I have a lot of experience with the law besides just what is on paper. But with that being said, also with being a real estate agent, there's a lot of law that you do need to know with getting your state license. And I have learned so much about that law, especially confidentiality. As judicial advisor, that's very important. And as Attorney General, fiduciary duty is very important as well. So with these qualifications and also being a UCF legislative scholar, learning how to be nonpartisan very well, I believe I'm the best fit for this role. And yeah, thank you.
Borges, is that a second question?
I was going to wait till someone else asked the question for a second, but if no one else's hands up, I have a second question.
Yeah, you may.
Okay. Can you please explain in detail, to your best ability, the 13 statutes and the Constitution?
Thank you. Title I is the system of statutes, and that is the compliance of the statutes and the formatting. Title II is the parliamentary authority and the definitions. The definitions are pertinent to the statutes, and the parliamentary authority gives the statutes authority above all of us. Title III is the legislative branch. Pretty much this goes over all the duties, obligations, responsibilities, violations, and procedures of that branch. Title IV is the executive branch, goes over all of the responsibilities, duties, and obligations of the executive branch, as well as their roles, procedures, and violations. Title V is the judicial branch. This goes through the judicial council, their duties, responsibilities, boards they serve on, violations, and appeals processes. Title VI is the election statutes. This goes through everything having to do with our elections, as well as violations, procedures, committees, the roles of the election commission, the election supervisor, and assistant. Title VII is the impeachment statutes, which goes through all the violations, procedures of impeachment and removal hearing, as well as the appointment of the interview director. Title VIII is the finance code. This goes over all of our budget required monetary policies, as well as limitations to those and violations in those. Title IX is the enforcement and accountability statutes. This goes through
Scared me. All right. Is there a motion to extend questioning? Y'all in Chile?
Motion to extend questioning by 3 minutes.
There's been a motion to extend questioning by 3 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was that on? 9?
Title IX.
Title IX is enforcement and accountability statutes. This statute explains the recommendation of censure, the notification of noncompliance, the violations, and the procedures that get you there. Title 10 is installation and eligibility requirements. It's pretty much the bare minimum that you need to have in order to be a student government agent, and the appeals process for that. Title 11 is the code of ethics. This is all of the morality all of us student government agents must have, as well what we shall not do. Title 12 is the Sunshine Act, and it is my responsibility as Attorney General to be educating you all on what that is, which is public records can be pulled by the public for their safety and awareness with all public meetings. Any business being done outside of those meetings can be pulled for record and will be in violation. And Title 13 is departments and agencies. And as Attorney General, it is up to me to approve agencies in their application process with their mission statement, their policy, constitution, their name, and their 1-year fiscal budget policy. Thank you.
In the interest of time, I'm going to take a motion. Temple, is that a motion?
Yes, move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Now, Chile, do you mind if I take your hand down on the? Okay. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate? Hurst.
So we saw this candidate earlier today, and she is extremely qualified. She knows what she's talking about. She knows a lot of what we're doing with statutes and has ideas on how we can benefit from those things and also adjust them to make them more appealing and more useful to our students. I think that she is incredibly qualified and will do well in this position, so I'm going to be voting in favor of her.
Okay. Samilo?
I think she is extremely qualified for this position, not only in ENA, but also just now she proved that to us, stating all of the titles and statutes and everything in the Constitution. I believe that she has a great, well-rounded performance, and I can't wait to work with her.
Kaze? No hand? Okay. Yalman Chile.
So Madison has been extremely thorough with her understanding of the statutes. She has briefly explained every single title pretty accurately. And I really like the openness to new ideas, such as potential reform of accountability to the Attorney General's opinions. She has very good qualifications, being a legislative scholar, understanding law in real estate, and with her parents. And I am very excited that she intends on coming to LJR every meeting, as it would be great to have her when LJR looks over the statutes to see if vague statutes or outdated statutes can be updated to better suit the interests and needs of the student body. And so I'm very happy to vote for her, and I encourage you all to do the same. Thank you.
Are there any senators wishing to speak in negation of the candidate? Seeing none, Kana.
A motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Campbell?
Yes, I was actually wanting to speak in negation.
You may. Wait, sorry. Do you withdraw, Kana?
Or withdraw.
Okay, you may.
Yes, thank you. My apologies for the late hand raise. I was just having a little bit of issues on my end. So I'm going to vote no on this candidate for, not because of the qualifications. She, based off of her resume, it was extremely qualified. However, from my personal thoughts, hearing her speech, how she responded, yes, her qualifications are great, but qualifications are only part of what makes an individual great for a specific position. There is also the concept of, is their personality a good fit? And there is the concept
we're only
of, are they
speaking on the qualifications of the candidate for voting. So their speech, if you're referring to the speech, that can go into qualifications. You just have to justify how that goes into qualifications.
My apologies.
You're
I will
fine.
rephrase. So for resume-based qualifications, great, stellar. I have no qualms there. Her speech raised questions to me that I do not feel comfortable having answered after her already having the position, and that is why I will be voting no.
Right. Is that it, Campbell? Okay. Are there any other senators wishing to speak in negation? Seeing none, Kana.
A motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there.
$34 to 3 to 9, I think.
All right. With a vote count of 34 to 3 to 9, congratulations, Madison Moore. Well, Attorney General Madison.
Sorry, to be clear, I misspoke. 24 to
24, because I was
So-
like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
24 to 3 to 9, you're still Attorney General. All righty. Where are we now? Good on timing, y'all. Good on timing. Oh, she already up here too. Okay, wasting no time. 5 minutes when you are ready. This is Brianna Urea for the Director of Student Affairs. Brianna, 5 minutes when you're ready.
All right. Hi, Senate. For those who don't know me, I'm Brianna Urea. A little about me, I'm a rising senior and a political science pre-law major with a legal studies minor, and I plan to go to law school and become an attorney. For the past 2 years, student government has been a huge part of my life and has grown to become a large passion of mine. In regards to involvement, I was in SGLC and then eventually SLC, which led me to run for Senate and become part of the 54th session, where I served as the LJR chair for the entirety of the session. As a senator, I was able to complete a Narcan initiative, which took me almost a year to do, to include Narcan education into new student orientation. And I worked with a bunch of different agencies to do that. And then as LJR chair, I learned just a bunch about student government, of course, and grew my leadership skills immensely. I gained a close relationship to statutes, learned how to chair meetings, lead a committee, resolve conflict, maintain and enforce accountability in a workplace, adaptability, and so much more. So why do I want to be the next director of student affairs? Well, as I kind of talked about in my proposal, I live my life off of the quote of being the change you want to see. And when I heard about the director position, I felt like it was the perfect position for me to continue my work and drive for advocacy and creating a positive change at UCF. In this position, I'm able to act as the main point of contact for all student concerns, be the liaison for the Office of Military and Veteran Student Success, Student Accessibility Services, and the Grad Student Advisory Council, as well as aid and support all the coordinators on their initiatives and events around campus, and interact with all the different SG branches and plan and execute 2 huge and memorable fun events from SG, those being Universal Nights and Winter Wonderland, which all go to positively impacting the student experience here. I'm a very type A person, and I like to come into everything with a very detailed plan. So in crafting my initiatives and goals, I aim to make my proposal as detail and plan oriented as possible to kind of serve as a blueprint for what I want to do if given the opportunity to have this position. I'm not going to take you through everything in my proposal because I already ran out of time in ENA. So I do want to talk about a few of my initiatives. So the first one is improving the way that we do ticket distribution. So for Universal Nights, so I know with the modern age of technology, it can seem like waiting in a physical line outside for hours in the sun is kind of outdated. And I know we did an online way of ticket distribution in 2020, but that wasn't super favorable with students. So I kind of want to find a happy medium that makes it more accessible for all students, but also is favorable as well. I want to, and what I talked about in my proposal was create a virtual queue system to where people could wait online in their phone and be given a time to come pick up their tickets. And this just makes it not only more accessible for people with disabilities, but also religious accommodations, since a lot of times Ramadan overlaps with Universal Night ticket distribution. So I really want to look into creating a new way for that. And then I also wanted to get a wider range of student concerns and as well increase positive interbranch relations. So I really want to work with SBA and attend meetings to hear what they're getting from feedback on what students are concerned about. And by doing this and getting the most amount of feedback possible, I'm able to serve as a better and more equipped director to ensure that all students are having their concerns heard. I also want to speak with and meet with the speaker and as well the Chief Justice to see what's going on in their branches and see what initiatives they're working on and how the executive branch can work with them. For example, if a coordinator is planning an event on a topic that a senator is writing legislation on or one of the caucuses are really interested in, seeing how we can plan those events together and work together. Lastly, I really do want to increase tabling and incorporate more interactive tabling with merch and promo items and stuff like that. While I'm aware, obviously, tabling is not a new concept. I really want to table at a bunch of different campuses and college events. I really want to meet with the deans and hopefully get all of the events and information from them on where SG
30
can table.
seconds.
All right. So that way we can meet students where they are and get the most feedback possible. And obviously I have much more ideas and initiatives, but I'm not going to take up all your time. So thank you all for letting me speak, and I'll yield to questioning.
We are now in line for questioning. Are there any individuals for questions? I'll go Carter, then Temple.
Out of all the ideas for initiatives and plans do you have? Do you have any particular for the LGBTQ student body?
Yeah, so me specifically, I am planning, like my main thing to plan for event wise is Universal Nights in Winter Wonderland as director, but of course there is the diversity and inclusion coordinator under me. And one of the main initiatives I want to push that coordinator to do is to really work with UCF Card Services to get preferred pronouns on UCF IDs.
Temple,
All right, 2 questions if I may.
you may.
All right, good evening, Ms. Urea. It's been a while. I hate to sound like a broken record, but here we go. So as Director of Student Affairs, one of your procedural tasks is to meet with your coordinators and kind of advise them on their various projects. How do you intend on going about that?
Yeah, so I talked about this a little in my proposal, but I really want to hit the ground running with doing workshops immediately after everyone's confirmed to teach all the coordinators how to plan an event and how to get started so that they feel really well equipped in the position. But as far as procedural, I really plan to incorporate having a weekly meeting with all the coordinators as well as a weekly meeting with the chief of staff to update them on what's going on with the Division of Student Affairs. And I also plan to have monthly evaluations with all the coordinators and semesterly division meetings to discuss initiatives and brainstorm and have some creativity.
Okay, and then my second question relates to your idea of reforming the ticket distributions. You mentioned bringing up a virtual queue system, but refrained from utilizing Ticketmaster. Have you investigated any alternatives to that particular software?
Yeah, so I talked about this a little in my interview because I know I'm not an app developer, obviously. So I know this is not going to be the easiest task. I do know, like I said, obviously Ticketmaster wasn't super favorable, but when COVID hit, there was brainstorming to figure out what the virtual system was going to look like. So I know that something there has happened before. So I don't deem it as impossible. But yeah, I know I'm going to have to work with UCF IT and a lot of different people to kind of get that done. But if I do end up having to do the physical distribution, and that is more favorable with students to do, I really plan to work with the Disability Caucus as well as Student Accessibility Services to figure out how we can make it more accessible to everyone.
Duke?
Hi, I know you just mentioned something about this briefly, but I was wondering if you have any disability-related ideas or actions that you want to partake in, because I am part of the Disability Caucus, and that is something we are looking into at the moment. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I don't have any like super specific initiatives that I really want to work on. I think that one that was really important with the campaign was getting an elevator in one of the garages. I believe it was Garage D that doesn't have one. So that's super important. And I know that was a platform initiative. But personally, like I said, for myself, I really do plan to work with the Disability Caucus to really figure out how we can make everything more accessible for all the different events that are happening on campus, because I'm only one person. So I really want to make sure I get all the input possible and work very closely with that committee. And as well, obviously with this position, I serve as the liaison for Student Accessibility Services. And I have been to the agency before. So I'm very familiar with them, and I'm gonna definitely get started working with them.
Right. In the interest of time, I won't take any more questions. Unless someone wants to extend it, because we only had one more individual wanting to ask a question. No. Okay. I'll take a motion. Temple.
Move to debate.
All right. There's been a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Yalaman Chile.
So I'm going to be voting in favor of Brianna for Director of Student Affairs for a few different reasons. One, she has experience in student government, in SGLC, and as LJR chair in Senate last year. I also thought that getting pronouns on student ID cards with UCF Card Services was a good idea that would help members of the LGBT community. So that was pretty cool as well. And she has the passion and the drive needed to make a good exec cabinet member. And so I'm going to be voting in favor. Thank you.
Hurst?
I'll be voting in favor of this candidate as well. I think that her ability and willingness to work with caucuses and committees to get things done that she wants to try and work on, especially universal nights, I think is extremely important. So I'll be voting in favor of her for those reasons.
Are there any other senators wishing to speak in debate? Kana?
A motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. I don't know what those numbers are, but 34 to 0 to 2. Yeah. Congratulations, Brianna. All right. Mora Martinez. Did I say that right? Martinez? Okay. I want to say it right though. Martinez for Director of Communications. You have 5 minutes when you are ready, Moira. Moira. Okay. No. All right, whenever you're ready.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today, and to everybody on Zoom as well. I am absolutely thrilled for the opportunity to potentially be the next Director of Communications for the Student Government Executive Cabinet for 2023 and 2024's year. I'm currently a senior here at UCF. I'm working on my Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, a focus in marketing with a minor in health sciences. But communications has really been my passion my entire life, really even before I knew what communications was. I'll take you back to when I was in high school, oddly enough, on my dance team, when I was a part of leadership. Started by taking over the Instagram account. I started making it a lot more visually appealing for viewers. I worked on measuring insights, making informational graphics for parents and other viewers on our account to know what events and activities were coming up, maybe where their student needed to be, etc. Then I noticed that the parents were becoming quite frustrated with the platforms we were using for communication. At the time, it was spread amongst Facebook, Instagram, and GroupMe for parents to find out where their students needed to be, what they needed to pay for costumes, any of that information for the dance team. No one could find out where the right information was, so on leadership, I took it upon myself to design a website for the dance team. They still use the website today, and it was available to the public to see what initiatives, service they were doing, but also for the parents to go to a passcode locked form on there to find out what information they needed for their students, updated always, up to date every Friday, and they were able to go to just that one spot and rely on that information there. Once I graduated high school, I knew that that was something I was wanting to continue when I got to my higher education, working on communications. However, I was part of the class of 2020, struck by coronavirus, as many of you in this room were as well. So I spent my first year at UCF from home, completely online. This really idled my involvement on campus and made it hard to get involved, and that was hard for me to accept as I had always been a student involved in their campus community. So my sophomore year, as soon as I got here, I knew I needed to get involved as soon as possible to make up for that lost time. I started at the Student Academic Resource Center, well known as SARC. I was an SI leader for Biology 1. That position was absolutely incredible as it taught me how to not only be an amazing leader, how to work with large and small groups, how to time management, lesson plan, and how to redirect learners to make sure that they're finding the information themselves and really learning how to not only the information that they're studying, but how to learn. Then I joined my sorority, Alpha Delta Pi, where I held the position as digital media marketer, and I learned how to measure insights, how to make sure our Instagram modeled the brand identity that we wanted it to model, And I also worked as our videography chair, as mentioned, where I filmed our service and philanthropy events to make sure that they were representing our brand the way they wanted to in an enticing way that made viewers actually wanting to watch, contrary to times past. I had a marketing internship where I again learned how to measure insights even better. And I really worked on finding out how to make a brand identity. This was very important for my career in marketing, as it makes me able to identify those brand models and really make sure that if you're working with a team, you can have them all on the same page, even if you can't be there. Now I hold a position as the UCF Panhellenic President, where I oversee all 12 Panhellenic sororities on campus, while also managing my own executive board of 10 other positions. This one speaks for itself, as obviously it's an incredible leadership opportunity for myself, but also it has given me the opportunity to work with UCF administration, OFSL administration, and work as a team amongst a big group of people. However, I was like, how can we get even bigger? I really wanted to immerse myself in the full UCF experience. This is what brought me to applying for student government as the Director of Communications. While I was here, I wanted to work more directly with the student body. This was through communications, posting more frequently. We have the mass and we have so much going on here in student government. We have the opportunity to post frequently while keeping that quality content coming. Making sure that we're consistently posting to make sure that we're showing up on our viewers' feed is very important. Followed by inclusion, I want to make sure that all of our colleges feel well represented, as well as all of our branches feeling well represented, including all of our caucuses, and making sure that everybody has a voice in our media posts. I want to make sure that our engagement is well measured and that we're doing a fair amount of giveaways in our budgets, while also making our content trending and engaging to users who are viewing all of it.
30 seconds.
Thank you so much. And part of my inclusion comes along with making sure that I establish bi-weekly meetings, or as fits for whoever those position holders may be, with our external legislative assistant and external assistant chief justice, so that I know what kind of pages you guys are on. I can accurately depict what messages you want out to the public, and so that we just have open communication frequently going, so that it is a calm working environment. Communications in the workplace is a huge asset to being successful in this position and in all of our positions. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you so much.
On the dot. All right, we are now in questioning. Are there any questions for the candidate? I'll take at least one that hasn't been asked. ENA, were you thorough with this one? Because at least one. Kringle?
What's one goal you want to accomplish over the entirety of your term?
Thank you so much. That's a great question. So one of my goals listed in here is to increase our following by 20%. We have, thankfully, Brandon and Colby have actually been doing that for me already. We're working with this new incoming freshman, getting them to follow our account, and I'll kind of add on that, is I want to increase our following, not just for pretty numbers and insights on our account, but so that students start using our social media as a common reference for valuable information and really able to just know where to go to find out what benefits we've worked so hard to give them. Because you can do all the hard work, but if it's not executed digitally and marketed correctly, it's for nothing. I want to make sure they know what they have.
Carter, then DeMarla.
Yeah, thank you for. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say Carter first? My apologies.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know. To my understanding, you plan to increase awareness for the LGBT community with Pride Month coming up. Do you have any specific ideas in terms of how to embrace the LGBTQ student body and represent minorities within the community?
Absolutely. So thank you for that question. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but in a different direction. So I'm glad you asked about this. So as I mentioned earlier in ENA, I am a strong ally with all of our minority communities, and I want to make sure that everybody has that voice and feels well represented amongst all of our social platforms and just communications in general. So with Pride Month coming up, I definitely want to be able to meet with the LGBTQ plus caucus and kind of figure out where you guys are and what initiatives you are planning to take during June. Me personally, on the dot for sure, will be making posts, informational posts about Pride Month and making sure that you guys feel represented, but working with you guys to see kind of what initiatives you want to take to make sure that it's well represented on student government's end.
DeMarla?
Yeah, thank you for speaking here today. So what is I think what is the experience that you learned from the most, and maybe like a specific moment that you think can apply to student government?
So this kind of goes with any leadership position. That's a fantastic question, by the way. Thank you. This goes with any kind of leadership position I've held, and it stands true for any position I've been in, is to lead by example. I think you can talk all you want to, but until you're doing what you say you're going to do, you cannot direct anybody else or expect others to do what they say they'll do. So I guess that falls under the value of integrity as well.
Are there any other questions for our candidate? Daedalus?
Hi, you said you were well versed with the caucuses. I just wanted to make sure what the expectation is in regards to communications regarding, like, if we wanted to post something, well, wanted you guys to post something regarding an event, would you expect us to come to you, say like a known event like Pride Month? Would you expect us to come to you regarding information about that, or are you going to communicate with us regarding your expectations on what you want to post during that time?
That's an excellent question. I totally get where you're coming from with it. So for big months like, Black History Month, LGBTQ+, Women's History Month, we have Asian American and Pacific Islander Month coming up in May. I know about those already. However, please let me know about anything that you guys want as well. I'm never going to be offended by someone telling me something that I may already be aware of. I'd rather have that double communication than zero communication. As far as the other events, maybe you're planning an event or an initiative coming up, I'm going to have a Calendly link available, which if you're not familiar with Calendly, it's a Meet With Me service where you can schedule Zoom or in-person meetings. I'm going to have that available for anybody in student government to have, just in case they do have a want or to have a conversation about something coming up. There'll also be a form for anything that needs to be posted. As I mentioned in E&A earlier, I will have a content calendar planned to make sure that those events are getting posted. I prefer 2 weeks in advance. However, anything besides that is case by case. As I know, we're all students and things tend to happen last minute sometimes, and I'm willing to work with you as long as it falls in line and still will represent our brand appropriately. I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Okay. Are there, oh wait, let me see how much time. Okay. Question period. The question period has elapsed. We are now in debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate? Nalaman Chili?
So in E&A, Miss Martinez was very thorough in her answers regarding how she wanted to elevate various minority communities through student government social media. She talked about how she wanted a forum that would allow people across student government to have their initiatives highlighted in the Instagram or whatever other social media student government is posting on. That would help, that would foster interbranch cooperation and would make sure that initiatives from all the branches are being highlighted. And she's very much experienced and has the qualifications, so I will be voting in favor. Thank you.
Richmond?
So yeah, I liked how she was open to meeting with me bi-weekly. Oh, my Wi-Fi's bad, but if you can hear me, I liked how she was willing to meet with me bi-weekly and just like really elevate like Senate's outreach and like all student government's outreach. So I'll be voting in favor.
I'll take one more in favor, unless there's no one wanting to speak. Are there any individuals in negation of the candidate? Seeing none, Kanal?
I move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. Stay strong, y'all. We got one more. Bring them in, bring them in. We're missing one more. There you go. All right, what is it, Brody? With a vote count of 34 to 0 to 1, congratulations, Moira. Moira. All right, welcome Lucy Blanco for Academic Affairs Coordinator. Okay. You can sit wherever you want. Brody, can you, oh, you added one more already? Okay. Okay, y'all, it was 35 to 0 to 1. All right. Okay. Oh, or 37, but just know you made it. All righty. 5 minutes when you're ready, Lucy.
I'm ready.
All right.
Good evening, Senate. For those who do know me, but most importantly, for those who don't, my name is Lucy Blanco, and I'm a sophomore majoring in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in pre-law and the humanities. During my time at the University of Central Florida, thus far, I've had the ability to begin my enriching academic journey. And though I just finished my freshman year, I have accomplished a great deal, and I owe this to my institution for allowing me to make this experience my own. Through this, I have grown to understand the importance of advocacy, diligence, and self-efficacy, and these are the pillars I stand on. My community began with my newfound family within student government. Coming from a small town to the largest university in Florida, I wanted to find connection and purpose, reaching the student body in a tangible manner and making a change. This coalition has led me to intertwine my adoration for creativity, writing, leadership, and initiative. My previous responsibilities and experiences with SGLC have greatly inspired and validated my love for this university. And I've had countless leaders and mentors that have molded my experience for the better, and I choose to be that voice for the next generation. I understand that in this position, I have big shoes to fill, and I'm continuously inspired by the leaders and mentors who came before me, and I hope to make them proud. Student government has also allowed me to connect with my peers and grow with them, constantly raising the bar for what is expected of us and building lasting relationships, which is why I can't sit here today without recognizing the people in the back of the room that have touched me greatly and I hope are a part of me for the rest of my life, because I wouldn't be here without you all. In this cabinet position, I understand the importance of my required hard work and admiration. And as your academic affairs coordinator, I strive to be the liaison between the student body and the greater university administration, identifying the issues of the students in an academic regard while cultivating the most effective solutions externally, while fulfilling administration initiatives, working with other coordinators, fostering cross-branch collaboration, and serving as a support system to all internally. Expanding events and services with downtown Rosen and Lake Nona campuses, strengthening relations with the John C. Hitt Library, collaborating with their personnel on events and functions, while finding new ways to support their students in their academic endeavors. Beyond the lessons I have learned, I'm eager to bring my own ideas to the table. I understand the vitality of not only maintaining an open mind, but an open heart. This means that we as the leaders of the student body need to start conversations with a willingness to set aside what we think we already know and seek to understand. When asked how I will leave my legacy, I'm going to leave you with this. It's hard to pinpoint the moments in our lives when our hobbies become a passion and the things we enjoy becomes our livelihood. I can't tell you when I realized that words held an entire world inside of them. And I want to bring this sense of wonder and purpose to those around me. Leaving a legacy doesn't have to be this grandiose gesture and big statues and names on plaques. It's about making an impact on this campus in my own unique way and leaving this place better than I found it. As your academic affairs coordinator, I wish to touch the lives of my peers and the greater UCF community, helping them find their passions and fueling a love for learning inside the classroom and out. Thank you. I now yield my time and I'm ready for questioning, Madam Speaker.
All right. We are now in line for questioning. Hurst.
So you have quite a few of your initiatives down on paper, which we discussed about in ENA as well. What is your primary focus? Like the first thing you want to do when you get in?
I think the first thing I want to do, if given this position, is my orientation integration initiative, as first time in college orientation has already been enacted and it's underway. A big discrepancy is that, first year experience is an overpacked, association and they have a lot going on, but I have a very close connection with the newly appointed assistant director. That's Professor Michelle Morel. And I plan on working with her to kind of introduce student government in new and efficient ways. And I also know that we already have, an established rapport. So it's going to be an easier transition to help our students overall. And I know the second day is dedicated to talking about resources and services that university provides. So I see a seamless transition.
Alderman Chili?
So thank you, Lucy, for being here. As a concerned member of the student body myself, I'm concerned about SB 266, which was a law recently passed by the state legislature that impacts education in our university and universities all across the state of Florida, in that professors will now be restricted from teaching on subjects about social justice. And there are students across this campus who are at risk of having their majors banned, majors such as gender studies. And if you don't have a proper answer to the question I'm asking, that's totally okay. I was just wondering, do you have any ideas or plans to work with the university administration to protect the students and hopefully the professors too, and help ensure that their academic progress is safeguarded?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that question. And I admire your strength in bringing this up since it is a sensitive topic. University of Central Florida is a wide and diverse campus, and we offer over 240 degree programs. And I'd hate to see for any of those be touched. Every student has the right to an inclusive and holistic academic experience. And I, as academic affairs, I'm that advocate on that state level. I, understand that, we as a university, these things change daily, and I'll do my due diligence in staying updated and informed on what's happening at that statewide level. But the best answer I can give you from an academic regard, as that is more of a diversity and inclusion coordinator question, is that I want to work with them, and I want to work with our governmental affairs coordinator to ensure that not only we are representing the student body in the best way that we can, but we stand up for, this academic experience that I want to present to all of our students and all the people, who want to go to UCF when they grow older and know that, whatever they want to study, they can. And that begins with, of course, doing my part, but also talking to the appropriate people at an administrative level to see what their plan is and how we can work together. So I can follow up with you further in the future on that if you like.
All right, Temple.
Alrighty, good evening, Ms. Blanco. It's certainly been a few heavy weeks, hasn't it? To bounce off of Sherry Alderman-Chili's question regarding SB 266, so the point was addressed of meeting with university staff, but another thing as well is there's also the student lens to it, and that's where student government comes in, as you know. And with that, there comes SBA and GAP, who would have a more direct hand in this at the legislative level. At that regard, how do you intend on working with those committees, SBA and GAP, moving forward and addressing the effects of HB 999 or SB 266?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Chair Temple. I think collaborating with GAP is something I'm totally open to because I had a wonderful experience when I was that day at the Capitol and immersing myself with what that committee does and everything that they do for, for student government and the legislative branch at large. I think that I have connections to a lot of people high up, and one of my first meetings and one of the first connections I want to make is with our provost, and he is in charge of academic affairs. So I want to start from the top and work my way down in figuring out what services I can provide and education that I can do for myself and for others.
Whitson?
Hey, Lucy. For your position, I think it might be important to have some general knowledge on the colleges. So I was wondering if you could name the 13 that are here at UCF.
Thank you for your question, Senator. I can. We have the College of Undergraduate Studies, my own personal college. We have the College of Graduate Studies, the Burnett Honors College, Rosen College for Hospitality Management, College of Sciences, College of Medicine, College of Nursing, College of Health Professions and Sciences, College of Community Innovation and Education, College of Engineering and Computer Science, College of Business, College of Arts and Humanities, and the College of Optics and Photonics.
Any more questions? All right. Where are we? Questions? Okay. Is there a motion? Is there a motion? Because I'm not seeing any more questions. Hurst. Sorry, more.
Motion to move to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. My apologies, Temple. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Are there any senators wishing to speak in debate on this candidate? Temple, and then Morset.
I may not make the motion, but I can definitely debate first. But yes, I will be voting in favor of Ms. Blanco, not the least bit because I've worked with her quite extensively while she was in SGLC. She wasn't in my SGLC class when I was in it, but she was in the class after me, and I've seen her grow quite extensively while she was in the program. And I believe she's actually visited my committee once or twice, which may or may not be going into my accounting for how I'm going to vote on this, but that's the point. I would absolutely love to work with her in regards to the what the state legislative initiatives have been on the student body as a whole, and I would absolutely love to see her in this position. And with that, I will be voting in favor for her.
Morset, and then Sinaloa.
As someone who went through the SGLC program with Lucy, I can say and vouch for how prominent she was throughout the whole program. And the fact that you could even handle half the things you did in the program is crazy to me. But I saw her grow, I saw her do many things, and I'm honestly very proud and impressed with how much she did and the fact that she went through this position as well. I'm happy to see her excel, and I will be voting in favor.
Samilo?
I also kind of just want to second Danny and the things that I said in ENA. Lucy is such an incredible person inside of student government and outside of student government. She has so many resources for everything, and I feel like she is a great person to fill this seat.
That was 2 or 3? 3. Are there any senators wishing to speak in negation? Seeing none, Kanal?
Motion to move to voting procedures.
There's been a motion to move to voting procedures. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now there. With a vote count 35-0-1, congratulations, Lucy Blanco. You're welcome. Lucy, towards the end of your speech, I almost forgot what you were even going for. I was like, is she going for president of the United States? Because this is wild. Congratulations to all our addition to the cabinet. What would Lizzie Beck call this? Slay? Yeah, slay. All righty. Okay. Seeing that we have 10 minutes, I don't think we'll be able to get to the fiscal legislation. Let me see what time that it has to what time it's asking for. July 8th to July 16th. Is that too much of a time crunch to see it? I really don't want to have to call for
Yeah, we're only gonna have more next week.
Can we see it first?
Yeah.
Okay, and it'll still make it on time? It will still make it on time? Okay, Akila, we'll see it first thing. It'll be the first thing of business. Okay, let me see. Where are we? I'm so sorry, y'all. Wasting time. Okay, internal legislation, none. Senate forum, Chair Campbell. Just keep in mind, y'all, we have 10 minutes left before we're kicked out. Oh, wait, someone had their hand up? Temple, you had your hand up?
Did we move to postpone fiscal bill 5501 if we're not seeing it tonight?
If you don't postpone it, it'll be an unfinished business, so we can see it. at the
Oh, if we
beginning.
don't postpone it,
Okay.
it'll just be an unfinished. Borges?
Also-
Yeah, I was gonna say just don't postpone it, but also the representative tried to get on. I don't think it was working, so they weren't here anyway. So I'll let
Okay.
them know that they should be here next week though.
Thank you. They will be the first thing to be seen. Let them know that. Thank you so much. All right, Campbell.
Hey, y'all. Just wanted to give a quick update on what's been going on with Senate Bill 254. I feel like this might be something I'll just kind of talk about at the end of each session each week. So right now, there's a current lawsuit against it in the federal district court. And at the current moment, hearings have been done. The judge behind it is Judge Hinkle. He is a Clemson appointee. However, that's still, that's an eventuality. In the meantime, the Florida Board of Medicine still has not created their informed consent letter. And due to that, no one can get medication. And people have already started running out, including a close friend of mine. So check in on people, all right? It's not great. Not at all.
Are there any other senators wishing to speak during Senate forum? Seeing none, Senate deliberations. Are there any senators wishing to deliberate on a specific topic? None. Proud of y'all. Advisors report, Brody.
All right, just a couple things from me. I will be quick. Yeah, good work. We're back in it. You know, full meeting, a lot of business. Last week was an easy one, so good work. It's only going to continue to be busy because next week, as we know, we'll have 3 fiscal bills and probably the same number of confirmations. Hopefully, our committees can show up to their committee meetings and we won't have to caucus because that'll be ideal and that'll save us some time. But no, in all seriousness, good work. We're diving in. Yeah, if you need anything, need support, need advice on anything, let me know. I'm around. I'm in my office. You know, if you happen to walk by and it seems like I might be asleep, I'm definitely not, but just knock on the door loudly and I'll happy to help you with whatever you need. I promise it's a condition that I am not medicated for. It is not my fault. So yes, anyway, yeah, that's all I got. Since we are short on time, I'm going to hold Senator shout outs. We'll put it in the minutes and you can add in your shout outs. So make sure you come in and check it to see who shouted you out because somebody will have.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sure who, Ethan will have shouted you out. Yeah, okay, that's it for me.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for showing me some grace while I was out of the office this week. I'm now back, as you can see. So yeah, like Brody said, if you're needing any support or anything like that, I can send out an email again or I think I sent out an email last week with my availability. So please go ahead and check that email. And yeah, let's set up a meeting. Okay. Proud of you guys. Bye. Hello. I left you all a little quiz to take, so go figure out what you need to do. Also, let's see if this plays. Oh, no. Hang on. I'm tech savvy, I promise. Okay, here we go. Okay, never mind. I'm going to figure out a way to give you guys a cat photo every week, but yeah, that's going to be my thing. Okay, but yeah, go take that quiz and figure out, you know, what areas of your life could use some improvement. Bye.
Not bye. Miscellaneous business, elections, none. Because I had it erased. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Really quickly,
Yeah.
any questions?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, for me?
On
No,
Zoom, any
for any of
questions
us.
for advisors?
All right.
No.
Sorry I wasted your time.
No, you're fine. Appointments. I hereby appoint Senator Hochfelder to the GAP committee. Resignations. I hereby resign Senator Yousafzai, Senator Pullman, and Senator AJ Patel from ENA. I hereby resign Senator Fintel from Women's Caucus. I hereby resign Senator Hochfelder from CRT and from LJR. And I hereby resign Connor Cantrell from Senate. DeMarla's drip down.
There's like 3 people on Zoom.
Okay,
with
but
their
you,
outfits
but you need to
on.
see her like. Yeah, stand up, stand
So-
up. And then show the
Oh.
pants leg. Yeah.
Oh, I love
It's
it.
giving. So,
Okay,
you know,
Ellie
I'm
first.
not trying to tell you what to do, but
For third place on Drip Down, I'll have everyone who I can see tied for second and third cumulatively. And then first will go to Amanda because I really do like the flare.
thank you. It's just giving, like it just really is. All right, Temple. I actually beat you this time.
Move to adjourn pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Chair Yalaman-Chili. You can do it right there if you want. We got 3 minutes.
Senator Herrera.
Herrera.
Senator Herrera.
Mateo, are you there? No, they're not there. They're not here.
Okay. Senator Trainer.
Here.
Senator Ebe. No. Okay, absent.
I'm present. I'm
Oh.
sorry, my mic wasn't working.
No, you're good. Chair Kenna.
Present.
D-Leg Morissette.
Present.
Chair Temple.
Present.
Chair Bishop.
Present.
Vice Chair Carangal.
Present.
Chair Datlas.
Present.
Senator DeCara.
Present.
Chair Butler.
Present.
Chair Campbell.
Present.
Vice Chair Cantrell. Absent, I believe. Senator Castillo.
Present.
Senator Laugier. Absent. Senator Fintel.
Present.
Senator Hamid.
Present.
Senator Larson.
Present.
Senator Moore. Absent. Senator Rose.
Present.
Senator Whitson.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Present.
Chair Samillo.
Present.
Senator Herman.
Present.
Senator Nadella.
Present.
Senator Ishan Patel.
Present.
I am present. Senator Luthra.
Present.
Chair Yusufari. Absent. Vice Chair Acosta.
Present.
Chair Borges.
Here.
Chair Carter.
Present.
Senator Duke.
Here.
Senator Hochfelder. Absent.
Present.
Okay, got it. Speaker Holmes.
Present.
Chair Hurst.
Here.
Senator Kazay.
Present.
Senator Lacasse. Senator.
Present.
Okay. Senator AJ Patel. Absent.
AJ.
Is AJ here? No? Okay. Ayala Pullman. Absent. ELA Richmond.
Present.
Senator Sandlin.
Present.
Senator Kairos.
Present, and I think Mateo clarified
Mateo's here.
for there. Yeah, just in case, but I'm present.
All right, thank you. Senator Kairos is present, right? Okay. Pro Temp DeMarla.
Here.
And Deezer Mattel. All right. 39 out of 45, quorum is verified.
All right, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 9:01 p.m. Get out of here.